In Nigeria right now, one apple costs almost 1,000 naira, which is very sad. They say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. One apple a day in Nigeria is half your minimum wage. I keep saying prices are ridiculous. Prices are so high right now. So in this video, we are going to be going back in time. I was born in the year 2000. So within the last 25 years, when has it been easiest? So let's start from the beginning, the golden days, 1999 to 2003. At the start of this era, $1 was just 22 naira. And the minimum wage for Nigerians then was 5,500 naira. So if you convert that, at that time, Nigerians were earning about $250 per month as the minimum wage, which wasn't bad. But towards the end of the era in 2003, everything skyrocketed. Dollar to naira became 130 naira per dollar. All of this within 4 years. And then the minimum wage for Nigerians fell from $250 to around $40. All of this within 4 years. So in 4 years, the lives of Nigerians changed. Everything went 6 times more expensive and they were earning the same amount of money. So this was the first era. This was the era of super strikers. NEPA poles were like decorations, VHS tape. I think we used to use like pen to rewind it and all of that. And then we went to era 2. At this point, Naira went from 130 to $1 to 200 to $1. This was from 2004 to 2015. This was when we had the BBM pings, the codes, all of this. This was when Serbian phones started becoming the whole rave. When we had to go, we had all of, I feel like this was when life was the best. In this era, the dollar went up from 130 to 200, but the minimum wage also climbed up a lot, up to 18,000 naira per month. 18,000 naira was about $138 at the start of this era, and towards the end, it was $90. So this was the minimum wage. We could call it $138, and it dropped to $90 per month. Again, not too bad, but a 35% decrease in the purchasing power of Nigerians. Now let's recap a little. Let's peg the minimum wage to the dollar and just see how it has decreased or increased over time. At the start in 1999, $250 was the minimum wage, and by the end of that era, it dropped to $45 a month. In 2004, $138 after the minimum wage increased from 5,500 to 18,000, and by the end of that same era, it dropped again down to $90 a month. So from $250 to $40 up to $138 and back down to $90 a month. Now in this era, we saw one of the craziest jumps we can remember clearly, because the dollar went from 200 naira to 500 naira. Now this was the era of data bundles and heartbreak. 1,000 naira couldn't buy anything again. Everyone was now the plug. Everyone was now days. You needed connection for everything. Everybody became street smart. You get, everyone was providing services. Life was lifing then. You get, it was hard. And yeah, this was the era, 2016 to 2020. And the dollar from 200 to 500. At this point, 1,000 naira could only buy you 2 meat pie. And it wasn't even good meat pie. And this was life for Nigerians. At this point, we thought, okay, this is the worst it could ever get. And we were so wrong. At this point, you could eat good food once a day on minimum wage. But if you calculate very well, you might be able to eat in the afternoon and in the night. 30,000 naira was about $83, and towards the end of the era, it dropped to $60. So you go to work in the morning, you come back in the night, Monday to Friday for a whole month, and then you're paid $60. And this is what you survive on. And food wasn't cheap, because a lot of the things we eat are imported. So we are paying higher than what they pay in the US, what they pay in Europe, and we are making $60 a month. Now let's look at that graphic and let's compare this. Nigerians started making $250 a month on minimum wage, and then it dropped to $40. And then 2004, after the minimum wage increased, it went up to $138. And then towards the end of that era, it dropped again down to $90. And then at the start of 2016, dropped to $83. And by the end of 2020, about $60 a month. As bad as that sounds, that wasn't the end. It got worse. It got a lot worse. And this brings us to the collapsed era, where we are right now. This was from 2021 to 2025, the dollar went up from 500 to over 1,600, peaking around 1,700 to 1,800. And now we are here. The minimum wage have been increased from about 38,000 naira to 70,000, which isn't even enforced. A lot of people are still earning below 50,000 naira a month. But for the sake of this video, let's say it is enforced. The minimum wage is 70,000 naira. What does it mean for Nigerians? Is it easier for us now? Is it harder for us now? Now, there's one thing that has to be stated. Now, even if the prices of things are compared, like a tin of milk that used to cost 120 naira then, now costs over 800 naira now, that isn't enough to gauge the depreciation rate, because the tin of milk now isn't the same quality it used to be then. So Nigerians, we keep reducing the quality and increasing the price. So even if we are paying like 10x what we used to pay before, we are still not getting what we used to get before. 1,000 naira right now cannot even get you a plate of rice without meat, without anything, just a plate of rice. So just to recap again, pegging everything to the dollars, Nigerians went from making $250 a month as minimum wage, and it dropped to making $45, $138 in 2004, $90 in 2015, $83 in 2016, $60 a month in 2020, and right now in 2025, Nigerians make $43 a month. The sad thing is, after a video like this, you might think, oh, it's just the prices that increased, it's just the prices that changed, they are just numbers, but that isn't the case. That isn't what actually happened. In the year 2000, 1,000 naira was about $45, and in 2015, that same 1,000 naira became $6.5. And right now in Nigeria, in 2025, 1,000 naira is about 60 cents. So from $45 to $6.5 to 60 cents. You see, as a Nigerian in Nigeria, you didn't just lose money. You lost your joy, you lost your voice, you lost dignity, you lost your options. 1,000 naira that used to buy peace before now buys pressure. 1,000 naira that was enough to feed your family for a month now isn't enough to feed you for one day, feed you just one meal. Now this video isn't just about money, it's about life, it's about memory. What life used to be like for Nigerians. When has it been the easiest for Nigerians? What are Nigerians going through now? This isn't going to bring change to any of that. I don't think we have that power. It's just to reflect and know that as bad as it is now, one day we might be praying for times like this. And as sad as that seems, it feels like that's where Nigeria is headed. Now, to be able to afford an iPhone 16, let's say it costs $1,000, using your entire monthly salary. In the year 1999, you will have to work 4 months to afford it. In 2004, about 7 months to afford it. In 2015, about 11 months to afford it. And to be able to afford that iPhone today on minimum wage, it will take you saving every single penny you make for the next 2 years to buy an iPhone 16. This is something that used to take 4 months before, 7 months, 11 months, and now it's going to take 2 years to get this. Now let's compare this with someone living in New York, for example, like in a system that actually works. To get that same iPhone 16, they just have to work on minimum wage less than 2 weeks. So 2 weeks of their life is of more value than 2 years of your life here in Nigeria. The cards you've been dealt, I don't think anybody prays for that. Give yourself grace, try to work, and just know it's different. I love making videos like this. This is a new channel, forgive all of the mess. If you like this, please like the video, subscribe, and